Hey there, everyone. It's Eric, the host of the Machine of Nonsense, with a little public service announcement. Kayla was having some troubles with her laptop, so she had to record this episode on her phone. Her audio's a little bit garbage. It's pretty bad on this episode. So if you notice that, it'll be better next episode. We figured it out, got it all figured out. It's going to be great. But, deal with it. And now on to episode 89 of The Machine of Nonsense. Hey there, it's The Machine of Nonsense, episode 89. And I'm calling this one the catch-up episode. It is probably the longest stretch between episodes we've maybe ever had. We had a lot of things come up. We went to C2E2, myself and Kayla. I'm your host, Eric, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. I'm joined, as always, by Kayla.
Hey, guys.
And we've got Mike on the episode.
You didn't leave the podcast machine on last week? I recorded a whole thing. What? It's gone?
Oh yeah, I listened to. I thought that was like some weird fan fiction you were like putting on audio. Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. What was that? That was bad.
Spoken word.
Yeah. And fresh off the COVID injured list, we've got Aaron.
Hello, but I still very much still have COVID.
fresh off the list. Can't have it. He's powering through it, folks. That's how much of a professional Aaron is. He's podcasting under duress.
Yeah, it's true.
For the audio listeners, big thumbs up from Aaron just now. I mentioned this is a catch-up episode. We've been off the airs for the airs. Yeah, off all of the airs. Just
all three of them.
All three of them.
All three airs.
The airs, the lands, and the seas. We're off of them for quite some time.
Sounds delicious.
and we need to catch up. We need to figure out what everyone has been up to. But before then, I've got an email, guys, that we need to answer.
To our Hotmail?
This is
Don't hate.
to our email, machineofnonsense@gmail.com. This one came from Jeem at letsfish.net. It says, me and my kinfolk have a patriotic thing we do every July 4th. We crack open a few cold ones and watch The Adventures of Pluto Nash. What's the worst movie that you have watched multiple times?
That darn punk.
Ooh, That Darn Punk. That's a good pick. I've also watched that multiple times, but good easy pull there for Aaron. I can't use that one. Mike, what do you got for this one?
Man, it's a movie that I love, and I don't think it qualifies as bad at all, but people think it does, and that's Joe Dirt. I've seen Joe Dirt
I think it qualifies as bad.
like 20,000 times. Yeah, right. I get it, but to me, it's like, man, this is just like a fun movie to watch every day for like a year. I don't know. It seems like
Oh, wow.
it was just always on TV, like all the time. Like
I remember that.
So, and I would, at any point of that movie, I could just sit down and just let it rip.
Never seen it. I've never checked it out.
Oh man, huh? Well,
I don't know the score of Bring It On, but I'd imagine it's not very high. But that movie is probably the movie I have seen the most times out of any movie.
Not a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie? I haven't watched it in many years. I wasn't sure if it holds up.
I'm sure the
Probably really
following
cringy.
I'm sure the following 8 are much worse.
I prefer Joe Dirt.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm scared of the cringe factor that I would feel.
It's not like you're saying your favorite movie is like Shallow Hal or something. So
I've watched that movie a few names. I'm not gonna lie.
I've seen it. It's really bad.
Mm.
Favorite
movie is
It's been a long time. I haven't checked out Shallow Hal in a while. I think for
Shallow
me,
Hal, once a gal.
He does. For me, I think it might, and I love this movie, so I will defend it, and it's great. At C2E2, there was a panel of people defending their crap movie tastes, and someone got up on there in front of the mics and said, "Jingle All the Way," which is my favorite Christmas movie. It's my favorite movie with Sinbad in it. And it's just, I love that movie, and I've seen it just so many times. But I think people hate that movie. You know,
it's that movie's like the same quality as like the Santa Claus and any other kind of solid Disney Christmas material they were putting out in the 90s. Like I don't know. I think we all named. Maybe not Aaron, but we all named quality films.
That Darn Punk is a lot of fun, especially if you're at all interested in like the like punk scene of that time. I don't know.
So if you're into like late '90s punk rock, then that movie is really cool because the soundtrack, and it's actually made by the Vandals on their record label Kung Fu Records. And so that part of it's really cool. Trying to rewatch it from somebody who doesn't really listen to punk anymore, it's like, wow, this is really bad. Maybe that guy should stick to playing the bass and not be the main character of a movie and things like that. So,
but it's like a total B movie. Like they're going for just like.
Well, they clearly thought it was something good. Like if you read the description on the back, it's like without the Hollywood machine, and it's a little much.
It's pretty punk. It's very punk of them.
The Vandals are very self-aware of what they are, so it's like it's. I met them at a Warped Tour, and I was wearing a T-shirt from a band that was on their label. It was Antifreeze, some band that never made it anywhere. And like I met what's his name, Joe Escalante, who's the owner of the record label, and he's the bassist and I think the songwriter from the Vandals. And he's just like, nice shirt. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I found them going through the Kung Fu catalog, and he's like, yeah, you know they're on Kung Fu Records. I'm like, yes. It was one of the most awkward conversations I've ever had with somebody I was looking forward to meet in my entire life. So it was weird.
Shouts out to the big tippers, you know.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna watch that movie again one of these days. I don't know
that Aaron's copy still because I've been waiting 20 years for.
I'm fairly certain I've returned Aaron's copy of that movie. If I haven't, my mom has it. So get it from Mrs. Fisher. Well, I guess Mrs. Fisher's my wife now. That's weird. This is very odd.
I've got my choice of Fishers.
Oh, good stuff. So let's get off of that. Thank you, Jeem, for that great email. Remember, you can always reach us at machineofnonsense@gmail.com. Let's catch up, guys. I know, Mike, we'll probably save you for last. You said you got a backlog of stuff that you're wanting to talk about, that you've been checking out. Aaron, I'll let you start. What you been checking out lately?
I've been playing. So one of the free games recently was Yakuza. Was it 7? Like a Dragon?
Like a Dragon, yeah.
And I've never played a Yakuza game. And I went into it with Ryan. Had told me they're all the same character from the original ones. Like, that sounds cool. It's not. This is the only one that uses a different character, so that was interesting. It's such a fun game. I thought I wasn't gonna like it because I don't like anime, and it's definitely an anime feel. Like, you know, every single female character is overly sexualized, and there's just a lot of weird stuff like that. But it's really cool. Like, the main character is obsessed with like old school RPGs. So like, he goes to prison for 10 years and he gets out and he's just like this weird guy, and then he meets up with like another homeless weird guy, and they're just going through the streets of this city in Japan, like fighting people like they're in Dragon Quest. Like, there's even like a job system, but like the jobs are like the homeless guy, his class is literally like homeless guy, and like he like drinks alcohol and spits fire on people and just hits people with like umbrellas and stuff. And it's just really cool and really fun. There's like a million like mini games that they put like a bunch of like a lot of thought into. Like, there's so many mini games, but they're so like immersive and
I love
completely
minigames.
thought out. Yeah, that's why I'm only like halfway through the game because I keep doing every little thing, but there's so many things to do. So it's I'm having a lot of fun playing it. That's what I'm playing.
Cool.
I've heard all the characters are just like super like earnest and like heartwarming. Like it's just a good story of like friends.
Yeah, it is. And like you walk around, honestly, like they should have like whoever did this should have done Final Fantasy 15 because it's clearly that vibe they're going for in Final Fantasy 15 where it's just like friends on a mission or whatever. And this, like they're walking and like they'll talk to each other about stuff and they're funny and they're all like supportive and it's just really cool and all the characters are really fun and nice and
that came out last year, right?
Yeah, beginning of last year, I think. So
yeah,
but it's free to me now, so I well, it's not free because I pay for that PS Plus premium, whatever.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah, we just signed up for that.
Put it on the list.
It's really good. And then my son's been playing because also one of the new games is Little Nightmares.
Oh, nice.
My son's been playing that. I don't think he's very good at it, but I think he's playing.
Is it the first one or the second one?
I don't know. I think the first one.
I've only played a little bit of the first one. I rented that one from GameFly way back when.
Oh man!
Yeah, had it delivered.
Oh yeah. I thought that Little Nightmares game was pretty cool. It's creepy and it's one of those like, oh, you're a little thing in a big world kind of games. So yeah,
it's like life, man.
Second one's really good.
Oh, nice. Haven't seen that one at all.
Yes, that's basically I've been just playing that. I've got a ton of hours in it because there's so much to do, and then apparently there's a new game plus when you finish it, and yeah, other than that, I've just been trying to survive COVID and
aren't we all? Way to power through, man. That I love that you're here right now. Kayla, we went to C2E2. That's why we've been away for some time, not recording. But what was the coolest thing you saw there? The most fun you had?
The coolest cosplay we saw was the Queen Xenomorph.
Oh, hell yeah!
It was so intense.
There was.
She had like claws. She had the staff that had the egg at the top of it, and it had like little face huggers all around it, and the egg would like open and puff out little fogs. And of course, she had this big Xenomorph Queen headpiece that like had some. Is fiber optic the right word? You know those like bushy toys that they used to sell and they'd light up? So like her head had like stuff that made me feel like that. Iridescent, like it was cool. She didn't win, not even third or second.
Oh, yeah. She was part of the cosplay like championship, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was such a. I liked their picks. Like their picks were all good. There were a lot of good costumes in the championship, but like. That one was just so huge, like, and just so cool, and just like had animatronics and stuff, like.
Yeah.
The ones that they picked, I feel like, were really heavy on like stitch work.
Yeah, like there was an Arya Stark one that was just like really, you could tell it was like really good, really handmade, many layers and stuff like that. But like, I don't want to put down anyone's.
I think if you're just
how did they do that?
Cosplaying as like a person in different clothes, is that really cosplaying? Because you're just a person wearing clothes.
It felt like that a little bit. As impressive it is of like making all your own clothes, like that's it. Literally probably took that person 100 hours to like hand stitch pants and shirt and all of the things and whatnot, and like
it's just fancy clothes. Like
it's super fancy.
I'm just gonna cosplay as Tom Cruise and be like, oh yeah, I've seen him wear a shirt.
There's a couple Keanu's in there.
We had some John Wicks. But let's not spoil too much because we're going to play a game later that has to do with some cosplay.
That was the coolest one. There were lots of things I really enjoyed, though.
Yeah, that was a good call. So C2E2 is the Chicago Comic an entertainment expo. It's Chicago's version of Comic-Con, basically, and try to go every year. We spent the whole weekend there, had a hell of a time. Saw some awesome costumes, and had a good time. The guest list was not as good as it has been in previous years, but they had some of the cast of Our Flag Means Death there. That was fun. They had basically the entire cast of Obi-Wan except Obi-Wan there. But it was a great time, though. I highly recommend anyone in like the Chicago area to at least check it out. Check out Saturday. That's when all the best costumes are there and stuff. They have a big championship. Good time. We've also beaten a couple games and stuff too. Stray. I know Mike has beaten that one. Aaron, did you play Stray?
I did. When I was going over what I've been done, I didn't remember the last time I did the podcast. So
it's been a minute.
But yeah. In that time, I also beat Stray.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the whole group. That's cool. Mike, I know you had said that it kind of dragged for you a little bit. What was that about?
I think I should have played it like in one or two just big chunks. I kind of had to keep like taking breaks in that game. I don't like just the minute to minute kind of stuff is like I'm doing this again. Like even though the game is like 5 hours, it gets kind of samey towards the end. I really liked that first kind of open area when you're just kind of exploring, going in people's apartments, finding, their passcodes to their safes and shit like that. Like, seeing how high you can climb up to. And like, there's just cool puzzles how to get people to open their doors for you in that area that I really liked. And the game just kind of, I don't know, deviates from that towards the end, and it just becomes like chase scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree about that.
I thought it was a great proof of concept that could be turned into something really, really good, potentially, with like a bigger budget, I guess.
I think they've already said that they're doing a sequel.
Really? Okay. I was wondering about that because it does, not to like spoil the ending or anything. I don't think we need to do that, but I feel like it's. Well, it's
my biggest point of contention is with the ending.
Really? Okay. Then let's talk the ending. So anyone who hasn't played Stray, it's a 5-hour game. Go and check it out. It's on
It's cool.
PlayStation Plus. It's definitely worth. I upgraded my version of PlayStation Plus for like $23. The game's $30. It paid for itself. But yeah, let's talk about the ending a little bit. Little open ended, huh?
Well, not even that was open-ended. That part I like. I love that he just wanders off. But you spend this whole time trying to make your way back to those other kitties, and it doesn't even show them.
Yeah, I wanted to see those other kitties so bad.
I don't think the cat is trying. Like, I think the cat is just not like just aware of what he's a part of at all, or even cares about getting back to those kitties. Those kitties did not give a fuck when he fell.
No,
he looked upset.
They did not. They looked like cats.
Well, cats are aloof.
Yes, they are. And I think the ending's kind of like, well, the robot was really the character the whole time. B12. Who is your little companion that does everything other than climb. And he was the one that could have got out, and he didn't. The cat didn't really matter in any of that. So I think it was just like a tragic ending.
That wasn't settle the debate, Kayla. Did the cat want to get back to its family?
That's the description of the game, man.
Actually, it worked its way out. Personally, I would have been intrigued by my surroundings. I would have liked to explore more. I think, like you said, the concept is really interesting. Like, just the fact that, wait, that isn't the sky. We are in Like, there's only robots down here. There's no humans. What happened to the world outside? I have all these questions. I would explore them as a cat with a sidekick little robot. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought the entire concept, the environment was really cool. I was really invested in the mystery, like, well, okay, what did happen to these things, and why are the robots here? What has how much time has passed? Like, I don't know that you ever really get 100%. It seems like it's like potentially thousands of years or something like that, but I don't think they ever like really boil it down and say like, oh, it's been 1,000 years or 10,000 years since humans or something like that. But I was real interested.
There could be humans on the surface. We don't know. This
Potentially,
could just be a
yeah.
little forgotten about. Seal it up. Let them. They're just down there. We don't worry about that no more.
You mentioned, Mike, that like it's a tragic ending, and B12 is left. Like he has to expend his last like bit of energy to kind of open up the surface for the cat at the end. But there is an interesting little flash of like a monitor turning on at the very end. Like the very last scene is like a little flicker of a monitor. I took that as to mean like, oh, he's kind of still out there. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, kind of thing.
I don't think I caught that.
I did not catch that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's
consciousness.
Too focused on the kitty. I'm like, where are the other kitties?
Yeah, it's literally like as the cat is scampering away to the left of the screen, there's like a monitor you wouldn't even see, but it flickers white, like it just turns on. Like and that's how I kind of viewed that. I don't know what else that could really mean aside from that, but yeah.
I kind of thought that the whole robot part, it just would have been better if it was just a weird underground city with humans.
Okay.
Instead, like, because they kind of use that as like a crutch for not having to write a ton of dialogue for this game. Because a lot of things will just say the same kind of thing if you show an item to them, or they only say like one sentence and that's it. Which is fine, and it adds enough personality to these little sections of the city. But I don't know. I would have rather seen had humans reacting to the cat,
sure,
scurrying beneath them or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
that's why I hope there's humans on the surface, and the sequel can be what I want.
I think you're right about that was the one thing I said my probably biggest criticism of not necessarily the gameplay, but just like, oh, you can kind of see the budget or the lack of budget, was the repeated lines. Like you would go to two completely different robots in completely different areas, and they would say the weirdly the exact same thing. Oh, everyone knows Mama's oil or whatever it was. And it's like, oh yeah. 6 different robots have the same.
Yeah, I thought it would have been cool to like when you show the item, because it's like showing the items like to get a little bit different perspective on whatever you've shown them.
Yeah.
And so I showed it to a bunch of people, and they all give you the same clue, all of them, and it's like, oh, okay, well,
yeah.
And then also like, it's the ultimate fetch quest game. Like, there's nothing more to it than. It's like that part, the part of was it Zelda Link's Awakening? There you go. Where you gotta you trade the bananas for this, and then you trade this for this, and then
the dog food. Yes,
you do it for the whole game, and it's that's kind of the game.
Yeah. I think that could have gotten real stale for me if it wasn't so brief. Like I thought I went through that really quick, like the little fetch questy kind of stuff, and then I got into those middle and like later scenes where you're running away from the Zerks, and then you're in like the prison and stuff like that. And I thought like getting through because I was able to kind of get through that. I didn't do a ton of like exploring. There were definitely, I left a lot of like those music pages memories and stuff. Yeah, the memories didn't collect all the memories or anything else.
I kept running into the thing where it's like, you can go this way or you can go this way. And like one of these is going to be a fucking story path. and the other path is where the memory is, and I chose wrong every time. So it's like, you got one of the two memories in this chapter. You got like 2 out of 7. I'm like, fuck, I'm not going back for these things. Like,
I only missed 2 for the whole game, and I was very upset. I'm like, should I replay it? But I don't think it has replayability, if we're being honest. And it's like, I like the game a lot, but I don't think I would like it that much if I had to pay for the game.
Do the memories flesh out what happened? Like, I think I missed that entirely as well.
Yeah, I think it just generally it just seems like a climate change. Well, not necessarily climate change. The humans wanted to like waste was filling up like the world. They created this tiered city, and waste was like they were just creating waste and stuff, and then they created.
Well, I think they were living underground because something happened.
Yeah,
there was a waste problem.
Right. And then whatever plague came in and it got them. And B12 used to be a person, like a doctor or something, and
it was a plague. Okay.
And the Zerks came from, they like created a bacteria to get rid of the waste.
Eliminate the waste. Gotcha.
Right, but
it started eliminating everything
too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then it talks about how now it's starting to eat inorganic stuff, and that's why the robots are afraid of it and stuff like that.
So it's a climate change allegory. It's a man's reach exceeding his grasp kind of narrative. That was less interesting to me. But
did you guys think everything looked good except the cat?
Face on the cat was weird.
The face on the cat looked like some fucking PS2 cat shit, man. Like, what?
It was endearing. I thought it was like cute, but it was not. It
stuck out like
right.
a sore thumb. Like, why doesn't this cat look amazing? Like, they can make
it had
look
no dimension to its face.
No, it was like a flat fucking JPEG that they threw on this janky cat model that they had. Like I don't know. I don't want to pet that cat. It doesn't look soft. It doesn't look nice. Like
hair,
I wonder if they focus so much on like the movement of the cat, because it's pretty spot on for like exactly how cats move and react to things, that they're like, oh man, it's this is due tomorrow. Let's just stick stick whatever on here. I wish you could have personalized the cat a little bit. I think that would have added something to the game. Or like I when I was talking to Mike, he said, or let you pick your cat from amongst the cats.
Yeah, they should have,
had a couple. Ooh, they didn't have much of that.
I wanted to make a cat like my cat, just like really fat and fluffy and kind of aggressive when it's hungry. So I mean.
But to do the pick from the 4, you'd have to do a really dark beginning, because it's all 4 of them falling, and whichever one you pick is the only one
no!
Well, it's got to eat the other ones to survive.
Ooh, see, look, they had extra content.
Well, Stray 3. That's what.
Little cat alive situation there. Little cat plane crash.
The Stray reboot in 10 years. The
poor cats have already eaten the candy bars and the fluff from the seats. I mean, they gotta move on.
Okay, I don't think I've shit on it enough, but the checkpoints were bullshit.
Some of the checkpoints were pretty bad. Yeah,
like I'd fail one of those. Against those sentinels, there's these stealth missions like mixed in, like where you're trying to sneak in and fucking steal this battery and shit. And it's it's very Metal Gear, like you see the sight cones basically, but man, if they see you and they got a sight on you, they're gonna kill you in one shot. And I don't know, I had to do some of those like a couple more times than I would have liked to.
Well, get good, So,
did you try not sucking?
No.
I tried. I really tried, but I just couldn't get over that cat's face. I could not stop.
Well, all great artists always say like there's 2 things they can't draw: hands and cat faces. Like those are the 2 things. And Michelangelo couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. Bunch of dicks. He could draw a ton of dicks, but no cat faces. He couldn't do it.
He's like one of those artists that just sticks his hands behind stuff. Like you see people with really bad tattoos, and they always happen to be like holding something, or like their hands or feet are dipping behind stuff. Yeah.
Did you ever think about that? The cat could have a bad facial tattoo, Mike. Did you ever think about that?
So you're telling me in 5th grade I should have had Goku powering up with his hands behind his head or back? I mean, or head. Yeah, that would have been cool too.
Or he's like walking past a tree, both hands just like.
Okay, I gotta post the video because the image of Mike powering up as Goku with his hands behind his back, folks. For the audio listeners,
I just destroyed half of my living room.
Oh God!
Darn. I hope my family's
okay. I think we need to move on because this is too much.
It's good new family.
So
Stray is pretty good.
Stray's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I thought for like I would have probably bought it and been satisfied for like $20-$30, which I think it's 30 if you buy it. I would have been fine if I would have not wanted it for more than that.
Was it the studio's first game?
I think so.
Well, they've got
really
potential.
Good first game.
Yeah.
Excited for Stray 2. In 2035 or something, because games don't come out anymore. But movies do, and Hulu premiered its largest movie ever, and that was Prey.
Fuck yeah.
Prey was fucking dope.
Watched it last night.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad we all have seen it. Kayla, I don't know if I've actually taken your pulse too much on Prey. I say this all the time. I feel like we watch movies and then we just don't ever. We just don't talk to each other.
You guys don't make eye contact. Just leave the room.
You know, we've talked.
I've never asked you in public, Kayla. What did you think about Prey?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it did a lot of fun things. Like, of course, I loved the dog. Her combat, I really enjoyed a lot of the off the tree and off the wall stuff that she did physically. And I loved the brother. He was my favorite.
Yeah, brother.
Tabe, right? Was his?
I couldn't remember what his name was.
It was Tabe.
Tabe. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed him.
He was so tall.
He was very tall.
That man was so tall.
He's fighting, man.
The chances of someone like 300 years ago being that tall were probably like nothing. Dude was probably 5'5", you know? Like.
Right.
He's a war chief.
I was expecting him to dunk on the Predator like at any time. Like,
he was a false prophet war chief, though. His bullshit. He did not kill that fucking lion. He
did kill it.
She did.
Her plan worked. She weakened it. He killed it.
She killed that lion.
It was the whole plot of
she was gonna get got.
He told her he killed it. Her plan worked. That's why he said that was like her thing. She sees things he doesn't. He used her plan. He killed it.
She killed
it. She couldn't even, stand up in a tree without falling out of it.
Well, spoilers for Prey, but he doesn't remain war chief very long. So I feel like they got the 50-50 war chief decision.
I feel like that's the subplot to the movie is she gets every able-bodied man from the village killed and then comes back and is put in charge.
Well,
it was all her plan. She paid the Predator to go. She knew it was.
Well, she pretty much is like, we should all go after this.
She's secretly French. She's like, oh man. But yeah, it was great. I mean, after like some pretty subpar Predator movies, in multiple years, and Alien versus Predator movies and stuff like that. I think a lot of people's mileage kind of vary on Predators, the Adrian Brody led one. I think that one's fine. There's some cool twists in that one that I kind of dig, but like Adrian Brody as an action star is a little hard to kind of parse with, but Prey, like there's nothing hard to like. Naru, Amber Midthunder, is that her name?
Yeah.
fantastic. Like,
it's just so cool.
Just out of nowhere. I don't know any of her previous work or anything else. So it should be said that like all of the cast, or all of the indigenous cast were actual indigenous people, which is really great.
But were all the French people French?
I don't know. They spoke very good French.
Were they real French trappers? That's what I.
Yes, French Canadian. They were French Canadian.
But
it was cool. They I was reading a thing about it. So they did everything about the indigenous way they lived and what they like, all that was all 100% accurate. The only thing in the entire movie about that kind of stuff that wasn't accurate, well, it was kind of like two things. One, that they're like the
Predator.
They're Predator. They're super like horse-based society, and they only show like I guess the original script was written without any horses, and the one of the guy that was involved in making it, who is Comanche or whatever the name of the tribe is, said like that's it's like they're a horse society. You have to have horses. That's why they show him on the horse at the end, and that's why he says I need to get a horse, and the fact that they would have never allowed a woman to be any sort of warrior or hunter. But what's really cool about the changing that, so in fantasy you run into a lot of stories, like it's like where it's like knight and princess stories, and there's like dragons and magic, and they're always like, well, women can't do this. Like it's not a bigger deal to create magic than it is to allow women to do anything else. So it's really cool that they actually made that change for once. Because she was obviously the best character in the thing. She was. The only thing is, I wish the hatchet on a rope, I wish that was featured more prominently, because she kept throwing it into the tree. I'm like, wow, that's badass. And then she uses it as a grappling hook to get out of mud, and then she hits something with it once. And that's pretty much it with that. But
yeah, I listened to.
They got me.
They
got me there, like when she was first in the mud. Like, oh man, shit's gonna happen. I know she just got out. But then it came back in a way that I was like, oh, she's gonna rub it all over her body and hide. No, that wasn't part of it at all.
Right. She did not go Arnold Schwarzenegger's path.
Right. I thought for sure.
Instead, she apparently had some herbs that work very quickly to drop your body temperature.
Yes.
Mikey, good, Jack. Those were to gather the finest herbs, my friend.
Yeah, there was a lot of like foreshadowing in a lot of that stuff with the mud and with the herbs and stuff like that. But I don't think any of it really like stood out or really like distracted me from just like how fucking cool this movie was. Like it was just awesome. Super fun. The Predator. I think we should speak to just like the cool kind of new. He had some of the old tricks, but like some new cool stuff. And the design of this new Predator, because it's set 300 years ago, so this is the oldest Predator we've ever seen, the oldest story and stuff, and they did a really cool Predator. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And even like his helmet,
it was like bone. It was
bone instead of metal.
He looked like one of the head crab enemies from Half-Life, and just looked so cool. I love the design. I love like what you said, what they did with the old tech.
Right. And you kind of get the impression they're trophy hunters. So there's going to be differing levels of what they have with them. What they obviously like what they could probably afford or something.
Well, they're just taking what they get from, I'm guessing, like, so if they dominate someone that has like lasers and shit, like, oh well, yeah, all right. Cool. We have lasers now. That's the way I took it. Like,
and I just wish also that he wasn't invisible so much, because a lot of his like, especially his hand-to-hand fighting was so cool. It would have been really cool to see him for a lot of it. So
yeah, honestly, you guys are like, oh, he looks so cool. I'm like, what does he look like? I feel like we barely got to see him. Right. They just showed like quick little flashes.
Oh man, I thought it
was so cool.
Like when you just see him chasing him and he's just covered in blood, and you just see the bloody stealth like in that field. This movie is just so great at getting like you from set piece moment to moment, and they're all great, and I love this movie. I don't know.
I like the camouflage, like you said, when he's running through the field, or like when he was fighting the bear and she couldn't see him until he got covered in the blood. I thought those were really cool. But like when he's like in the middle of the little woods and he's killing Frenchman after Frenchman, like he doesn't trying to be stealth. He walked in there with like a fucking swagger.
Yeah.
But like, you know, all we could see are his claws swinging around. It would have been nice to like see him like actually fighting. So
well, he is kind of a little bitch because there's a point after that where Tabe and Naru are fucking him up, and he goes nope, and he fucking stomps out of that motherfucker.
I think all big game huntings are kind of bitches. So
yeah, they only like it when they're winning.
Yeah, their code of honor only goes so far.
If anybody wanders onto a field with an enormous fucking gun to shoot an elephant, they're a piece of shit. And that's obviously what the Predator is. But like you like, oh, he only wants to fight people who can fight back. Like his little mask is zooming in on spears. Like here's the tip. Like it's a fucking spear, and you've got like lasers and shit. Like this is not a fair fight. Did you have to skin the snake? Was the snake a threat? Did he really just like that mouse? I don't.
So Eric has a question about the end.
A question about the end. Oh boy, do I? Oh yeah.
About his helmet.
Yeah, I don't get. So I love this movie as well, but yeah, the final scene. I think I've already said spoilers for Prey, everyone. But here's the spoilers for the final scene or the death of the Predator. He gets stuck in the mud, and she has set up the mask to point at him, to point his targeting, because she's noticed earlier that like wherever the mask points at, the reticles, that's where the like spears or whatever, the bolts will go. He didn't know that. Like I don't get, like he doesn't understand how his own tech works.
He didn't have it anymore. So like if those aren't pointing at something, it's just like a crossbow bolt. He was aiming at her. He didn't know she had the helmet activated at him.
So his weapon, he just picked up and aimed at her and thought it was going to shoot at her.
He thought he was just going to shoot it straight at her, but he didn't expect the helmet to be pointing at him.
Well, I
don't know how she figured it out. But.
Yeah, I know I understand that. Like he certainly didn't know that it was pointing at his own head, but like. He didn't know the whereabouts of his helmet at all. Like it could have been pointing straight in the sky, for all he knows, or pointing at the ground.
If it wasn't activated, they would have just shot straight. Meaning, had it been left on the ground, I think they would have just shot straight into her and stuck, and that would have been it.
But wouldn't that be akin to like checking to see if you had bullets in a gun kind of thing before you tried to like fire at someone? Like you don't know the status of your weapon? Like that just seems...
if you're in the middle of like fighting for your life, you wouldn't pop a clip out and be like, let's make sure this is here.
I guess like if the thing is to... I don't know.
Killer should.
I've heard a lot of arguments on why she was able to like defeat this Predator, and spoiler, she defeats the Predator at the end. I think this is like a pretty green Predator. I think this might be like his first, scouting mission or whatever, hunt.
He could have been trying to prove himself too, because you notice he puts that wolf skull on his thing, and there aren't other skulls or anything. So
first hunt for him.
Right.
I think that's why he was going like, okay, first Predator I find, your alpha, I guess, snake, then a wolf, then a fucking bear, and then, these a French, like, whole militia. And he's worked his way up, and it was, I think he was, like, pretty, like I said, green, and, like, not, like, I don't think he leaves tracks all the time. I watched Predator after I watched Prey, and, like, Billy's, I can't find any tracks. Billy's a tracker and can't find nothing. So, like...
he stays in the trees in Predator.
Right. That Predator knew to, like, not leave a trail behind with these people. And I thought it was really cool to show that the first Predator that came made mistakes. Wasn't, like, a super great Predator, I guess. And got taken out. Like, hubris.
They clearly made a point to like point out the tracks and point out, it was the whole movie of her tracking him.
I like that. I didn't catch any of the fact that he's green, but now it seems very Yeah, very apparent. So that's cool. I like that. I just felt like that. I feel like everything else up until that point, like everything that happened to the Predator, her traps, just like her and her brother taking him on and stuff like that, it felt very like, okay, this is reasonable. Like they've outsmarted him in a lot of different ways. They've outpowered him. They're like at the advantage of, they know their surroundings and everything else. But that just seems like a complete mistake on his part to like fire a weapon that like could just go straight in the air. Like I would never try to use that weapon if I don't know like the status of it.
Big dagger arms out.
Mostly he goes toe to toe with stuff, like with the bear. He doesn't blast it. He fights it. And
right. I think because he's stuck in the mud, he needed something ranged. Yeah. So, like, I think that was, like, his only option. So he's like, I'm going to give this a fucking shot. Because it goes for a while before it, like, whips around. So I think he was hoping to kill her at least before it shot off into the middle of nowhere to, like, a buffalo or something. But
right. Yeah, it's not enough to, like, ruin the movie by any means for me. It was just, like, in the moment, I'm like, okay, that's a dumb move, like it's just silly. But if he's a green predator and like it's the heat of the moment kind of thing, all right, that makes enough sense. That's fine,
he doesn't like get why he can't kill this like thing that he's been chasing and not even really giving a crap about throughout the whole movie.
Just some woman.
She
non-threatening.
She checks him, like I love the yell that she gives after that. It's like, yes, I did this. It's just so cool how they could improve upon a character's kind of legacy like this. Like Predator is kind of becoming like a Dracula or a Mummy or that kind of generic universal kind of thing. Or if you as long as you keep releasing these and they're not as good as that first movie or anywhere close to that first movie.
It's you, kitty.
You're just going to damage the character's legacy. I think the Xenomorph that's happened to it as well. And this gives, as far as the ranking of what's better, Xenomorph or Predator, this is some points in Predator's corner, like for sure.
You're not wrong.
They do so much to just fill in cool little holes in like the mythos of this species, and I like it.
Speaking of that, it's kind of a tragic ending. If you guys like are familiar with the ending of Predator 2, because like it's an Easter egg for the ending of Predator 2. So at the end of Predator 2, I don't know how many times I've said that in a row now. The Danny Glover kills the Predator, and the rest of the Predator, like he's on a ship and there's like 4 other ones and he's thinking, I'm going to go down or whatever. But they honor him with like a gift and they give him this antique pistol. And it's got a date on it and a name. It's like Giorgio Armani or something. It's not Giorgio Armani, but it's like an Italian name. And I guess the comics have fleshed out where this came from. It's like a pirate's pistol or something like that, but it's a 300-plus-year-old pistol. And it's found by Naru during the events of the movie, and immediately I was like, "Oh man, that's got to be the pistol from Predator 2." But that means the Predators have recovered it from Naru and her people. So
at the very end where it shows like some of their traditional like paintings and stuff. I had read this later. I didn't catch it when I watched it. I guess if you look at the paintings, it shows 3 more ships coming down.
Oh shit! Yeah. No, I did not catch that at all. Wow. Well, she had a good run, Naru, as the chief. I think that's a bad job because we see 3 chiefs, right, in that movie. And
there's 3 chiefs for like 8 people. It's too many cooks.
They each last a day.
Every single time anybody comes back with a dead animal, they make them chief. So, like, if people just keep rolling back in covered in blood, it's like, oh, goddamn.
Oh, Prey. Go out and see Prey. Or well, you can't really go out anywhere, but
I
it's on
wish I
Hulu.
could have seen it in a
That would have
theater.
been way better in the theater, yeah.
I wonder if it'll get any sort of like limited release or something like that. That'd be real cool.
I mean, with how well it's doing, I don't see it impossible.
I think people
Fucking
would go out and
Morbius
see
came
it.
back.
Yeah, I think it's a movie that could work for people. I think people would, even if they've already seen it. Like that's a movie I'd rewatch again.
In theaters, hell yeah.
Yeah, so get on it, Fox whatever. It's one of the Fox studios that put that one out.
I think it's just 20th Century Studios now. It's all Disney. It's all Disney.
Right. Yeah, I shouldn't invoke that name anymore. Sorry, Disney. Don't take us down.
Gonna get a cease and desist pretty soon.
I was thinking about like my disappointed list, and I just wanted one of them to be movies are dead. And this because there's just been so many movies like, man, this was not great this year, and this movie turned that around for me, and just, man, I had a really good feeling about it when I heard about the director, and he did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is a great movie as well, and I'm like, he's gonna nail this, and it did. It was so good.
Yeah, I gotta recommend. There's a good interview with him on the Ringer. It was at the Big Picture feed, maybe on the Ringer. Check it out, Dan Trachtenberg. Pretty cool. Seems like a cool dude. Has made some cool movies, and if you're interested in a little more behind the scenes information on Prey, it's a good listen. Mike, I said we're saving you for last. We went pretty hard in Stray and Prey. You got, we kind of stepped on your toes a little bit. What other shitty stuff have you checked out?
I still got some stuff.
Good.
We'll start with TV. I'm almost done with Stranger Things. I only have 2 hours left of that.
Oh, so like a half an episode. Okay, cool.
Yeah. This season's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has.
There's storylines that I wish kind of weren't there, but overall the main storyline with the big group of kids was really good. Just haven't found the time or really like the drive to finish that one yet. Kayla, did you keep going with Hacks on HBO?
I haven't watched it in a while. I think I'm on episode 2 of season 2.
Nice. I finished season 2 and it's really good. I thought it was.
I told Eric after I watched the season finale of the season 1, like, man, that whole episode I think is so good. I was like, why didn't that come out this year? I want to put it on my naughty list.
I think it does a similar thing where those last couple episodes just really like bring it all together in a great way. And man, Jean Smart is just so good on that show.
Yeah,
she's great in everything.
Yeah,
she's been killing it. I mean, since like Watchmen and then Mare, like
Fargo
I've only watched
2,
like a
she's
little.
Great in that.
Oh man, yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And I'm halfway through the Sandman on Netflix. I'm really liking that so far. I think Ryan's been watching that as well. I think he's been enjoying it. He's probably finished it.
That's based off of a book series, right?
Comic.
I believe graphic novels, right? I think that's the correct term. I have no idea what separates a comic from a graphic novel.
I know it's a long-running thing, so I guess you can just have multiple volumes in a graphic novel series, I guess. So, that's really cool. It's about the basically there's 7 like deities that like your Hades, death, desire. And the Lord of Dreams, the Sandman, and he gets captured very early in the first episode of the show, and he's captured for a long time, like a century plus. And the dream world kind of goes to hell, and nightmares and things like that are able to creep through, and the tools that have been stripped of him are in the wrong hands and being used in crazy ways. And it's just such a cool world, and there's a lot of just cool imagery. There's familiar characters from other media like that kind of popped in that surprised me. It's probably no surprise if you are familiar with the comic and stuff, but it's just cool. Patton Oswalt is like the comic relief sidekick character who's very good.
I didn't know he was in that. That's cool.
Yeah, Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones is pretty cool in it. She's in an episode.
From Star Wars. Sorry. From
Star Wars. As Phasmophobia. And I like everything except the Sandman, except the main character. He's always just really brooding, and he's like fake imitation Edward Cullen from Twilight, and I don't jive with him at all. I don't know.
So I know they've tried to adapt this for it's like a 30-year-old like comic run, something like that, and they've tried to adapt it a lot, but like people have said that it's unfilmable. That's like the term has been used or whatever else. How does it look? Like, does it look pretty good?
I think it looks pretty good. There is a lot of like his whole dream kingdom is like CGI and stuff. I thought that looked good. There's the main villain who's got like wild things going on in his eyes. I think that looks pretty fine. And if that looked really bad, then it could just ruin everything, with that character if he's supposed to be like this real spooky kind of guy. Yeah, I think just like the art direction and set design is pretty top notch in it, and that's really what's keeping me going.
That's awesome.
Because it is kind of like a CW-esque kind of thing going on in a way, like as far as like acting quality sometimes, but I don't know. I'm totally gonna finish it and see it through, and I guess it doesn't it's not gonna be like a one and done. Like they're hoping to continue the story, which I'm like, all right. I like my one and dones, but
it was a long running like comic, right? So they got lots of issues to pull.
Yeah, but just tell me, just cut it, cut it up. Like give me, make something different. Make me just a 10 episode run of this thing. But yeah, I'm eager to finish that, and it's been my TV watching.
Nice. How many episodes do you know are in the show?
It's just 10.
10. Nice.
Yep, I finished 5 of them, so eager to finish that next 5 soon, hopefully. Been playing a couple video games. You guys heard of them? They're pretty good.
What are those?
Rumbleverse came out this past week. We talked about it on the last episode, but it's like the wrestling battle royale game, and it's pretty cool. I am not good at it at all, but it's neat. It's through. I didn't know that Epic is like basically funded it, I think, and so it was real easy to sign in. I already had like an Epic account, I guess, and
from Fortnite, all that Fortnite you've been
remembered
playing.
all that. Oh yeah. And it's some Fortnite-y-ass looking stuff. Like it has a very similar art style to Fortnite. Very like I recognize the whole kind of battle pass, place, locker room, customize your character screen kind of thing at the beginning. And it was real easy to just make a character, jump in, get my ass whooped, jump to the matchmaking took a little while. But once you're in it, the game is creepy deep a little bit. There's a lot of like, this move's unblockable, and this move has priority. Like strikes have priority over like a grab, I guess, or something. Like there was a lot of weird things happening in a fight that I really didn't understand. You have a shield similar to like Smash Brothers, like that trigger gives you like a bubble shield that runs out as it gets hit. You have stamina and health meters. You're finding items very Fortnite like to give you buffs and stuff. The cool part is you're finding like these books that teach you like super moves, and you can assign 2 of those. So you might get like a big spinning lariat or a Shawn Michaels super kick, or like a cool launcher that lets you like just kick them up into the air, and you are able to leap into the air with them and do a combo there. And that stuff all seems really cool, really well done. And I made like a really big, like bulky lady character, and it's really cool because you could climb anything in the world. So it's a lot of like that Hulk scene in the first Avengers where he clings onto the wall and catches Iron Man kind of thing. There's a lot of just like you grabbing into buildings and pulling yourself up and stuff. That looks pretty cool. And it's just fun. It's free download, and done by Iron Galaxy. They're a real cool studio in Chicago. And yeah, I recommend that one. I'm gonna play some more of it and hopefully get better at it.
Nice.
And the other one I've been playing finally is Cult of the Lamb.
Woo.
I've been playing it on Switch. Have you guys checked it out yet?
This came out like Thursday, right?
Yes, it did, and I've put in a little bit of time. I have 6 followers in my cult.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that game's pretty cool. It just starts out like you are a lamb that's about to be sacrificed to like these elder gods, and a different kind of demon takes you out. Like you're on the cutting floor, and the axe is about to get you, and he saves you, and like, hey, wear my crown, speak my word, the word of me, and we'll be going places. And you're next thing you know, you have your first follower, and you're setting up little stations in your town for like chopping down trees and getting stone. And it's a lot of like Age of Empires empires kind of stuff. And you're every day you're going to the temple and doing a sermon for your followers, and it's raising their faith, and it's you got to control their happiness and stuff like that, and you have to make sure they eat, and all that stuff it sounds like a lot, but it's actually pretty streamlined, and it's pretty easy going so far. I think I'm on like day 12 or something like that. But what's
my settlement's in trouble.
Yeah, it is a little bit of that, because when you're in when you're doing the dungeon crawling aspect of the game, like where you have to defeat these elder gods and stuff, and you get a lot of your gold and stuff like that you need to build. But time is still going, and you could be in a dungeon for a couple days in game time, so you're missing the sermons and the things like that, the stuff that you should be doing in your town. So it's kind of spinning plates with that a little bit, but it hasn't been too bad. It's not like I'm losing people or stuff like that. I did lose one person. I performed my first sacrifice, which my town loved a lot. My faith went up early. Buko faith after seeing a Cthulhu monster pull one of them into a void.
Love it.
Yeah. But it's really cool. The cutscenes look really good. It's a really slick animation style that they're using for that. The main menu screen is gorgeous. Like, I don't know, it's like they put a ton of time and budget into the main menu screen. But yeah, it's cool. It's my Switch game right now for sure. It's Isaac's in the back seat, and yeah, I'm excited to play more of it. I'm excited for you guys to check it out too.
Oh yeah. Maybe that'll be the next one after Miles Morales. I didn't mention it, but we're playing Miles Morales older game, fun. Really taxing my PS4. But more on that later.
It gets noisy.
Yes. On to our game then?
Let's do it. Game on.
Let's do it. So this is called the Scientifically Accurate C2E2 Cosplay Challenge Game. I just came up with that completely out of the blue. But TM, that is now the name of this game. So me and Kayla took a visual survey of 3 days of C2E2 to find out which costumes were the most plentiful. Okay, so we're going to be quizzing you. We made a top 10 of most common. Doesn't matter what order you guys, name them in or anything else, but you're going to be guessing which costumes were the most plentiful. Whoever goes first only gets 2 strikes and you're out. Whoever goes second gets 3 strikes and you're out. Because the first one's a little bit of an advantage. So you score a point if you get one of the costumes, and you take a strike if you do not get one of the costumes. And that's how this game is going to go. Do either of you want to go first versus want to go second? Otherwise, I'll just flip a coin.
I'll let you choose, Aaron.
I'll go first. I'll be so much worse at this than Mike.
All right. So, me and Kayla, the whole time, we were, checking the scene, and we said, oh, this one. So what do you think, Aaron, were the most popular costumes at C2E2? It's all real topical stuff.
I'm trying to plug into what the people are doing. I don't know, Star Wars is Darth Vader there?
I'll give you. So we put Jedi/Sith on the list. So I will give you a point for Jedi/Sith. Mike, what was at C2? What were you gonna say, Kayla?
There were a lot more like Anakin Siths than there were Darth Vaders.
True.
For your knowledge.
Anakin, real popular.
Because it's another one of those where you just wear clothes. It's not like a whole.
You gotta get a lightsaber. Where are you gonna find one of those?
I got a lightsaber at Disney World.
Yeah, you gotta go to Disney World. Come on, that's hard. Mike, what do you think? C2E2 costumes.
It's one that's real easy. There's always a fucking flood of them, and it's Rick Sanchez from.
Oh
man, we did not see. We saw like one Rick Sanchez.
Really?
I think we saw like one.
Mm-hmm.
This was there were some surprising costumes that were not represented or very underrepresented. I will say that. So Mike, you have one of your 3 strikes at this point. That's okay.
Ouch.
You got the extra strike, so that's good. You guys are basically kind of sort of even now. Aaron, what do you think? Costumes.
Is it too broad to say anime stuff?
It is too broad to say anime stuff. Yes.
Because I don't know any anime characters. I don't know. Are people still dressing up like Tomb Raider? Thought that was a thing for a while.
I think we might have seen. Do you remember seeing a Lara?
Probably.
Yeah, probably, but not amongst the major players. Lara. She should be. That's an easy one. Mike, what do you got?
Man, I don't know if I should go with someone who is kind of new and was probably pretty popular at the show, or an old faithful one again. I'm going to try new, and I'm going to guess this Eddie Munson guy from Stranger Things.
That was my next guess.
Eddie
popular.
Munson was by far the most popular costume.
Okay.
But like out far and away, there was like a whole meetup of like 50 Eddie Munsons.
The best one though was the graduated Eddie Munson. They had like a cap and gown on with the vest and stuff.
It was going to be his year,
I liked that.
It was going to be his year. Yes, Eddie Munson.
Very, very popular. Eddie Munson has been very overhyped for me. I'll say he's not my favorite character this season. But.
Number one. So Mike's on the board. Each of our players are on the board with one guess and with one strike on them. Aaron, what you got next for the C2E2 scientific costume challenge or whatever I called it?
Ash Ketchum.
There were several Ash Ketchums, but I wouldn't say he was amongst the top 10. No, would you?
He's not on our top 10.
He wasn't on my list. No.
You're just not plugged into what you nerds are doing these days.
It's popular stuff, man.
I'll say I was pretty surprised by our top 10 list.
Yeah, yeah. There were some that were common at previous C2E2s that were maybe not as represented as more. I will say, I think there were more Misties than there were Ashes at C2E2. So,
oh wow,
yeah, a lot of Misties, a lot of
girl power. All right,
Mike, what do you got?
Girl power. Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go with my old faithful one here, and I'm gonna guess the Merc with the mouth, Deadpool.
That was the surprising one. There were not a lot of Deadpools.
Really?
Not a lot of Deadpools. Right. I do not think Deadpool was in the top 10 for us. I didn't put it in our top 10 of visual.
There was a noticeable lack of Deadpool.
Yeah. It was noticeable in the sense that, like, man, there's always like 50 Deadpools here, but I want to keep this going. So, Aaron, I said you only got 2 strikes. You're getting 3 strikes. We're playing fast and loose with these rules here. I will say there's a very similar to Deadpool one that is on this list. That's all I'm saying.
Spider-Man.
Let's say, well, it seems. No, I can't guess it. Said it.
Yeah, you can. I said Superman.
Oh, okay. Was Spider-Man.
It was Spider-Man was who I was referring to. Very nice. Spider-Man on my list was the 8th most common. But usually Spider-Man is immensely common, and in the same way as Deadpool, there's like an even amount usually. But there were some new entrants into the game this year. So we'll give a point to Aaron on that one for Spider-Man. Mike.
Podcasting with a friend.
Yes, yeah.
Can I give a hint?
Sure. They need it.
There is someone on this list that was one of your favorite characters last year.
Oh,
very good.
Gotcha. Jinxie girl.
Jinx was number 2. No, Jinx was number 3 in terms of quantity. Jinx was very popular with a decent amount of Vi's as well.
Yeah.
Oh, good for Vi. She's not
more Jinx as Vi, but yeah, ton of Jinx. Jinx of every shape, size. I think gender, everything. Jinx was immensely popular.
As she should be.
Not enough of them had cool, like, guns. You know, like, that's the thing about Jinx. Or like, a grenade, like, a cool, like, thing. I saw, like, a couple of them with, like, a bazooka, but, you know, I need Jinx to have a cool gun, you know?
I agree.
Aaron, it's a tie ball game right now. Don't cough and think you can get out of this.
I'm gonna die. I can't guess.
Seriously here. This is the costume guess championship right now.
Yes.
I
think there's some easy ones on the. Some stuff that's been, you know, big in 2022 movies and stuff. You know.
2021 too.
Both, yeah. Most of the stuff is like pretty like at the forefront of culture right now, pop culture.
You know, we got Spider-Man and other people he's friends with.
I've seen Spider-Man and his amazing friends. So if you're talking about Iceman the Human Torch and
you're right. Yeah, there were like 40 Icemen. You're right. Yep. Yeah, they were the second most common costume. Oh.
People still dress up like Sailor Moon.
Unfortunately, I didn't see a single Sailor Moon. Mike, the next point wins. If you can get a point here, you win the game.
I'm gonna guess the Ex-Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange. I'm gonna guess.
Ooh. Wow, you were close. You were very close. But
Wong.
there were a handful of there were actually a handful of Wongs as well. But
it was Scarlet, huh?
Scarlet Witch was one. So I'm gonna go down the list we came up with. Eddie Munson was number one, far and away. Like he rolled the competition.
Eric lost his bet within like hours.
We made a bet going in of like what was going to be the most like common costume, and Kayla said like, "Oh, it's going to be Eddie Munson," and I said like, "Yeah, you might be right. That's an easy one. You know, you wear a denim vest or whatever, and you're good." And we did an over under 10. And I was like, I'll take the under. I said, we'll see 9. You know, we'll see like 8 or 9 of these, and within like the first half day, it was like we were up to like 13 or something. It was insane. Eddie Munson, very popular. So number one,
too many Munsons.
A lot of Munsons. Loki Sylvie variants was number 2. Tons. There was Amanda Loki at one point, a Mandalorian Loki. There was or Sylvalorian or something.
I thought you meant Amanda Bynes was there.
Yes,
yes.
As Jinx, actually. It was real,
just cosplaying
shedding a life.
Girl wants.
True to life, yes.
Yeah. Jinx / Vi, I put as number 3. There were a lot of that. Mandalorian, of both the Boba Fett and there was a really awesome Princess Peach Mandalorian, which was really cool. I've got a lot of pictures that I can post. I'll share of some of these things. I joined a C2E2 group that is sharing a lot of really great pictures. There was a Mandalorian like family as well, which was really cool. Scarlet Witch Wanda was number 5. Aaron got Jedi Sith, kind of, sort of, for number 6. A lot of Anakins, but a decent amount of like Obi-Wans as well. Old Obi-Wan, we saw quite a few, like Alec Guinness. Yeah, a couple Palpatines. Thor coming in at number 7. A lot of all the variants of Thor. Fat Thor, Thor Love and Thunder.
Thor with the best.
Yeah, a lot of Thors. Spider-Man was number 8. Aaron got that right away. Number 9 was going to be probably the hardest. Raven from Teen Titans. Just a boatload of Raven from Teen Titans. Decent amount of Beast Boys as well. But
I was going to guess Raven from That's So Raven.
Well, there was actually a good mix-up of Raven. No, there was Raven was there as Raven. It was great. And 10, the cast of Our Flag Means Death. Our Flag Means Death was huge there. They had 2 of the actors from the show, and people showed out. There were a lot of Blackbeards. There were
Gentlemen Pirates.
Yeah,
they were good.
There were like groups, like people who came in, like 4 or 5 people dressed as various cast members. It was really impressive to see. It was a real wow, this show really hit. And a lot of art, a lot of I think it really hit with the community.
In Artist Alley, every artist had like a Blackbeard and what's his name?
Steed.
Yeah. Like there were all kinds of art of them.
Yes. In various forms of undress, you know. It was
I felt that Taika Waititi was really the winner. He's got Thor on there. He's got Our Flag Means Death on there.
True that.
And show.
Mando too.
It didn't make the top 10, but we did see several like Najas. We saw several Najas from
Did you
What We
see
Do in the Shadows?
Naru from Prey?
Not a single one.
I was hoping somebody was on that one.
Yeah. Couple good Aloys, which is close. You know,
two or three
good Aloys. I could see Naru being a fantastic costume for next year.
In March, we'll do an over under with Naru.
Ooh, I like it. I dig it.
Over 100 is what else.
All right. Well, that was episode 89. Thanks for coming out and catching up with us. It's been too long. Aaron is literally dying as we record this. So our next episode will be a rest in peace episode for Aaron. But way to stick it out, man. Thank you so much for coming out. It's real good to see ya. You can reach us, guys, just so many ways. We did an email earlier. Go ahead and send us an email, machineofnonsense@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. Send them, make them wacky. If you'd like to hear your voice, you can leave us a voicemail at anchor.fm/machineofnonsense. There's a nice little voice button there. You leave us a 1-minute recording. I'll put it into an episode. I post questions on the Spotify version of this podcast for every episode. I've gotten some good responses from a couple people. Bluey Gang is out pretty hard on the Spotify questions. So Bluey is for the culture. Get on that. Spotify, answer our questions. Otherwise, tell a friend, let someone know that you dig the pod. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Check us out. Monstars. Check it out. It's our fan group. Going to be posting a lot of stuff from C2E2, I think, this week. But that's episode 89. It's in the books. I was your host, Eric, joined by Kayla, Aaron, and Mike. We're getting out of here, and we're saying goodbye.
Bye.
If it's odds, we can kill it.
That's beautiful.